Welcome, everybody, to Let's Grow Pulling Live. It's Monday, April 15th. Got a cool show lined up for you tonight. My host tonight will be the great Matt Hart. I'm going to let Matt talk a lot tonight because when Mike's on here, Matt never gets to talk. So I'm going to turn the show over to Matt tonight. And we got two awesome guests tonight. Our first guest is Bodi Lear from Marionville, Missouri. And Bodi is a garden tractor puller, and his tractor is called Half Cocked. And I know that he gets a lot of respect from every competitor in his class, Matt, because when I went down to Lebanon, Missouri to watch him pull, when Bodi came out, they all kind of came to the track to see how he would do. And I don't know a ton about garden tractor pulling, but I know it's a lot of fun and there's a lot of passion. And where there's passion, there's a lot of money and a lot of time put into that sport. So excited to have Bodi on here tonight. And then around 8:30 Central Standard Time, we're going to bring in Logan Stevens and his dad. They're sitting in the shop right now, hiding in the green room. And they have a Grand National mini rod. They got all kinds of stuff. So tonight's about youth. It's about youth, Matt. So, Matt, at this point, I want you to take over and start talking to Bodi.
Perfect. That sounds great. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Beer Money pulling team. Of course, Let's Go Pulling podcast. Yep. Can you hear me?
Do you care if I show a cool video of Bodi first?
Do it first. That would be wonderful.
So that way we know what we're talking about. Here's a cool video of Chandler Pickler from the Beer Money Pulling Team archives. I got one run here of Bodi. Here we go.
Straight getting it there. Bodi, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. How's things going today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where was that video taken? He's talking about Chandler grabbing you on that one. Do you remember where that one might be?
Do what?
Do you remember where that video? Did you have a chance to see it of you pulling there? Chandler must have had that. Do you know where that one was?
Lebanon, Missouri.
Lebanon, Missouri. Okay, so that was just about a month ago, right, Jason? Is that what is
December?
A while back. It was December. Okay,
yep.
That's right. Time flies. It's flying. Well, we want to welcome everybody in. Of course, we're looking at the Let's Grow Pulling podcast, and we're glad that you're here. We got Lodi here again with us tonight, and so Bodi, got Lear, got it all backwards there, and garden tractor puller. Excited to have you here today. How long have you been pulling in the garden tractor circuit? Talk about your machine a little bit.
Well, we've been pulling since 2017 or so. We've had multiple tractors over the years.
Okay. Jason talked about this being a show about youth. I have to ask, how old are you? You're talking about 2017. What's 5, 6, 7 years?
I'm 14. I was 8, 9.
Okay. That's what's so much fun about garden tractor pulling is it's anybody can get started at an age, from way down there. Do you have any brothers or sisters that are pulling too, or is it just you? Is it your dad? How's that work?
My younger brother, Rhett, he pulls.
Okay. And is he in what class are you pulling in? Are you in a super stock class? Talk about that a little bit.
1050. It's a 1,050 pounds Pro V twin motor.
All right. What kind of horsepower does something like that make?
Like 110, 120.
Just enough, right? Just enough. That's great. And what club are you pulling with mostly there?
We pull a lot of NGTPS, and then in the summertime, it's SLTPA over in Sleeper, Missouri.
All right. No, that's a good run. I see Robert Lear jumps on. He says, what's his favorite tractor? That's a question for you, Bodi.
Of ours, it's probably Half Cocked.
Okay. And is Robert, same last name, is that dad or is that an uncle? Who's that for you?
That's Dad.
All right. Is he sitting next to you, or are you hiding out back in the barn there?
He's at the house.
Okay. Okay, very cool, very cool. Now, our friend here, Jason, he got to pull on a garden tractor here. Was it last year? Was that right, Jason? We got to see some of the video of that. That's a little different animal, isn't it? There's a lot to be said for guys that are shifting weight and running around. That's the Uber driver. Perfect. I see that. So Dad hauls you around to these pulls. I'm looking at his comments pulling up there, and so you've been at it for 5 or 6 years since you were 8 or 9 years old. And what do you think is probably your biggest success so far, and what's your goals going forward?
I don't know. I want to keep doing it for a few years until I'm older, and then maybe put my kids on some.
That's a great idea. Do you ever think of pulling on anything else, say a truck or even, a larger tractor? Is the garden tractor circuit kind of where life is, and you're just loving that?
Yeah, this is where we plan on staying for a little while. We've talked about getting a big tractor, but we're staying in garden tractor pulling.
All right. And Jason, help me out a little bit here too. You're the master of asking some of these questions here.
No. I've met Bodi once, and like I said, Chandler, one of our our social media guys at Beer Money Pulling Team, loves going to the pulls, and he got to know Bodi pretty good. And like I said, I just noticed when Bodi came out on the track, Matt. Logan, shut up. That's my dog. I work and doing the podcast from home tonight because my wife went to my daughter's soccer game, so I need to come home and take care of the dog. But I just noticed, Matt, when Bodi came out with his tractors, and it's a stock. I mean, he's pulling against 40, 50-year-old guys. I mean, this is legit with good stuff. But when Bodi came out on the track, there was a sense of like, this is the guy we have to watch. Like everybody was talking about Bodi. Now maybe Chandler is just a Bodi homer, and Bodi's not a big deal like I think he is. But it was good. Everybody was excited to watch him pull, and same with Logan, who we're going to have on the back half of the show as well. But a lot of people just say to us all the time, Matt, like, the future of our sport, where's it going to come from? And right there is Bodi, and he's a good young kid. I had a great conversation with his dad down in Lebanon, and I just said, we got to get you on the podcast. So here we are.
No, glad he could join us. It's great. So when does your outdoor season start? Because we had a day today where, we were certainly a lot warmer here and starting to get that itch. There's some farming going on outside my window here right now. When's your summer season start, Bodi?
Summer season starts we got a couple pulls at the end of this month, and then May.
All right. And you hit the indoor circuit. I got some good friends, Dave Knapp and crew that run on the national circuit, running around towards Pennsylvania and Ohio and all there. What's the farthest you've gone maybe? And do you do some indoor pulling in the wintertime?
The furthest we've gone indoor is Ohio.
Okay. And how about, there's a good question. Someone on Facebook, and we'll have to pull that up and see, is asking, who builds your motors? What kind of power plant are you running there?
Jeremy Hogan at Hogan Service Center in Nevada, Missouri.
And you've been running with them for quite a while, and it seems to be doing pretty well.
All of our twin motors.
Okay. How about, I was going to ask, how'd you end up in points last year? I know we talked about that a little bit, and I love some of these questions here too. Someone asked here, do you know Tom Graber? Looks like you might. Any way to cheat a little and not get caught? Of course, that's a question everybody wants to know.
Well, if you're going to cheat, you're going to get caught. There's not a good way to get around it.
That's right. There's some of that going on, of course. And then what's somebody saying? Is it legal to drink and drive on one of those? I don't think so. It's always worth a shot, though. Of course, Party Nut's changing his name every time. That's a good idea.
Yeah, he's running from the cops, Matt. He's running from. That's our Bodi. That's our resident Bowling Green fan. He's actually the mayor of the Bowling Green campgrounds, and we have him on the show. So we don't let him on the show. We just let him comment, Bodi. So
yeah, keep it exciting for these young guys, of course. Now a question for you. So you've been on the garden tractors. Say you're watching another show. What's a class other than garden tractors that you'd like to see? Maybe one you always plug into to watch before heading out.
I just watch it all. That's really it.
All right. That's fine. Now, what are you? Maybe a sophomore, junior in high school? Is that what it is? Probably.
I'm in 8th grade.
8th grade. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Man, if we could all start pulling that young and get after it, that's pretty cool. As a mature 8th grader, folks. So if there was an 8th grade question, do you do anything besides pulling, or is there any athletic, sports? Is there FFA? Are you showing any cattle? Are you farming? What's the other activities look like for an 8th grader from Missouri?
I got sports like track and football and baseball.
All right, keep you strong and to keep the tractors running. And do you have to do most of the work on the machines yourself, or is that a teamwork thing with you and Dad?
It's kind of a teamwork thing. We just work on them together.
All right, all right. Here's a question too. Someone says, I'm gonna read these comments. Oh boy. Yeah, favorite indoor hook for you. Again, young man, of that age. Where's your favorite indoor hook you've been to in the last 3 or 4 years?
That's a hard one. Probably Waterloo, Iowa.
Waterloo, Iowa. Why would you say that?
It's just closer, and then we've also got a bunch of people that we know that went. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to beat up on each other all summer and then get to see each other inside too, right? That's a great idea. Now, again, most classes, of course, have kind of a rule where you got to be 14, 15, 16 years old. Garden tractors, you started at, what'd you say, 8, 9 years old. What were you on the same kind of machine you're on now, or is it something that you've stepped up as you've gone?
Kind of stepping up. You get stock tractors whenever you're younger that aren't as fast.
All right. Yeah, loving the comments too. Looks like Dad's tuned in. That's great. Excited for that. There's so much family involvement in these, and a lot of guys are able to run together, right? So there's the likes of like Darren Binkley. I don't know if you run into him much. They run down Missouri way, and a few of those guys I know on the garden tractor circuit. They certainly have some fun with it, and they get around, and so just kind of fun there. I'm trying to think. What do you think about, again, garden tractor pulling? What's the future of that look like? Because it's been something that's really come along. It's really a fan favorite for us in a lot of places. Do you see any changes coming that, might be on the horizon that you might be a part of? Or
Well, we've got a bunch of people like distributors who manufacture parts that are just they're getting out of the business.
Okay, so you see kind of a change of hands a little bit there, and maybe some opportunity for some younger maybe businesses too, right?
Definitely.
Well, good deal. Good deal. I was going to ask you another one too. Just trying to think. It's usually, again, like Jason said, Mike's all over this, so we get to hang back and listen to him do a great job, and just kind of fun. I like watching the garden tractors. There's something different about it that you don't see on the heavier machines, where actually your body weight is going to make a big difference. Because what are you weighing in 1,050 pounds? And a young guy like yourself can probably eat 10 cheeseburgers and still weigh in pretty easy, right?
Yeah. Definitely not as many. Not as much weight.
And Jason's pulling some of these pictures up. So we got, is it half cocked, right? Is that look at the wheels on the front of that one. My goodness, Jason's gonna have to put those on his light limited there. Pretty cool. What's the paint scheme on? Talk about the machine, putting it together, the success you've had with it.
Well, half cocked originally was built as an outdoor motor or outdoor tractor. It wasn't much, just with our association. Midnight Train we specifically built for indoors.
Can you talk about the difference between the outdoor and the indoor for some folks, like me, that are just standing on the outside talking about it instead of really knowing what's going on?
Well, a lot of the outdoors is not like, you see a lot nicer. I'm not putting the outdoor guys down, but you see a lot nicer machines in the indoor circuits.
Okay. And why would you think that? Is the indoor, is it because there's more time in the winter for these folks to travel and do that? Or what's the reason behind that?
I really don't know. A lot of them, it's brush pulls. It's just, I don't want to put anybody down, but a lot of people just put together tractors and pull them for the fun of it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's part of the fun, isn't it? I mean, we all got to start somewhere. And at the end of the day, it comes down to us all enjoying what is the sport of pulling. And, you're certainly adding to
Matt,
that. Yeah.
Bodi, Southwest Express, that's another one of your tractors, right?
That is actually Jeremy Hogan's. We just built
Okay. All
That's
right, so here's a video of you running that at Lebanon. I want to show this to everybody, and then we'll show your run. Was that first video? Was that half cock? Was that the half cock tractor? Or was that something else?
the ones that you showed, most of them have been half cocked.
Okay, so what class like this Southwest Express tractor? What class does that compete in?
It's all 1050 Pro V.
So what does that mean to what's 1050 mean to people that don't know?
The 1050 is 1,050 pounds. That's your weight limit.
Okay, that's your weight limit with the driver on it, Bodi.
Yep, with the driver on it.
Okay.
And then the Pro V, it's a V-twin motor.
Okay. And what would somebody find that in outside of the garden tractor world? Is that used in another, a motorcycle? What's that used in, Bodi?
Yeah, motorcycles, lawnmowers. That's really it, I think.
Okay. So here's a video, everybody, of the Southwest Express Bodi driving. You said this was Jeremy Hogan's tractor?
Yep.
Okay, and that's your engine builder, right?
Yep.
Okay, super cool. Check out this little hot rod, Matt. Now that's fun. I love how those babies sound.
Oh, they scream.
Gypsy Road 1066 is watching on YouTube. 19 mile per hour on Rob Millard's PTO V twin was the most wild pass I've been on. That would be moving. That would be moving.
That is flying. Yeah.
What's the fastest you think you've been for a mile per hour down the track, Bodi?
I want to say 15 or 16. I think
15 or 16. Okay.
That's catching some air there. That's moving right along. That no joke. And again, wheelbase. And where do we got? A good question. Yeah. If you could build an indoor track facility, where would you build it and why? See, Bodi's young enough. He's going to have enough time and money to do this. So if you could put one somewhere, is it your backyard or what do you think there? What's your favorite spot?
It'd probably be somewhere over here on the west side, Missouri, maybe Kansas, or that's really it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hotbed for them garden tractors out that middle Midwest, right? I was driving through to Kansas City on Saturday. Is that real far from you? What are you, about an hour from there, maybe?
To do what?
As far as Kansas City, how far from home is that for you?
3 hours or so.
3 hours. Okay, so you're ways north yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're south.
Yeah,
Kansas.
somebody. Okay. All right. I wondered. And then looks like a Facebook user was commenting on that following he has on the track, Jason. It's the chick magnet. I could see that.
Yeah.
Young man sticks
Bodi,
the helmet on and goes.
Bodi, do you have a girlfriend? Do girls think you're cooler because you have cool garden tractors?
No, most people in my school just think it's stupid.
What?
Here we are. They don't know.
Take me to career day, Bodi. Okay. So, Blake Adams says, "Can you shake that mullet, Bodi? Can you take your hat off and shake your mullet, Bodi?" Blake is asking. No. Is Blake a friend of yours?
Yeah. We don't pull in the same class.
Sounds like somebody's giggling in the background too. He's got a few. Maybe that girlfriend's riding in the truck with him there. There we go.
Little sister.
Mom. And the Uber driver. There he is. Hi, Dad.
That's Mom.
That's Mom.
Oh, and Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. Hi, Mom. Good to see you.
I've seen his dad. I haven't met his mom. She's way prettier than him, though. I just want to throw that out there, Matt. Okay.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Here's a good question. Caleb Peters says Bodi is a bad mofo. So there we go.
That's the guy that cuts all of our tires.
Cuts all your tires?
Yep.
What's PPE stand for?
Professional pulling something, I think. I'm not for
Caleb,
sure.
let us know what that stands for a little bit. So
Somebody writes a check to him. Yep.
y'all shake it like a salt shaker. Robert Lear. The mullets
Yeah,
are back, Bodie. The mullets are back, Bodie. We have to pick on you a little bit about it because it's been a while. It's been a couple years. Like I think hairdos they make their runs around. I'm 48, Bodie. Mullets were cool about 40 years ago. So it's cool, like Motley Crue. No, that's a hair band. That's a wholly different thing. So Thomas Graber says, I'll throw rocks at you if you build a building all the way over here in Kansas. I love it. Peter's Performance is what it stands for. Peter's Performance. Perfect. Okay, Bodie. So I remember when I was in Lebanon, I feel like is it the 1050 Pro V? That's the class that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I think it's the same class over at Lebanon.
Okay. And was there a super stock class as well, like the one that the Bad Jose was in, or was Bad Jose in your class?
I'm not sure actually.
Like, is there a class above yours in garden tractor pulling, or is 1050 the top of the heap?
Well, there's lots of classes. Like the singles are pretty.
No. What's the baddest ass class, Bodie? Like, what's the multi-engine modified class of garden tractor pulling?
It's all not really sure. They're all pretty hot.
No, but like, what's the fastest? What's the most powerful? What's the top class?
Well, it depends where you go, because NQS or NGTPS out east, it all runs pretty fast, other than a couple smaller classes that we've seen. But I'm not really sure.
That's okay. Well, Robert, if you could help us out a little bit, or I think Tom Mitchell's watching tonight as well. I know Tom very well.
They know
Let's see here. Questions. Paisley Yummy is watching on YouTube. What's your favorite place you have ever pulled? Paisley Yummy wants to know. So
probably Waterloo, Iowa.
Waterloo, Iowa. Okay. Peter's Performance Engineering. Caleb says we got hit with the piston at Shipshawana. Yeah, we got one of those on our desk at home. That landed in the top of our tent. So that's good. Sean's watching on YouTube. He says, shake the mullet. Is that something you guys do? Do you shake your mullets now, Bodie, or is that?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay. Ron Zisler Jr. says Bad Jose has a motorcycle engine. No, and I did. I saw that thing run. It looked like a little light alcohol super stock. It was insane. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Bodie. Like, was he competing in your class down there in Lebanon that day, or was that one more class above it?
I think they had a class for they call them mini rods up there.
They do. Okay. I'll ask Logan about it later. He'll know a little bit more too.
He would know about that.
Whole Town. Is there a class that people put a small block V8 in? Yeah, that's you got to be your mini rod class, right?
Yep, there's multiple mini rod classes. I'm not really sure.
Okay, and then Tom's saying Pro V twin. Okay, so Robert Lear saying Pro V is the baddest class out there. Okay, so that's the class that you pull in, right, for garden tractor pulling? Okay,
yep.
If you were to rank like the top 10 competitors, who are you like? Not most, who do you most respect out in the track? Like, that guy's a good driver. He's got a good piece of equipment, or that gal. Who are some of those people that you look up to? Because you do, Bodie, you pull with a lot of adults that they take this stuff super, super seriously. I mean, take a look at that picture we have on the screen. Guys are bringing their own toolboxes, and it's the real deal. It's the real deal. So who are some of those people that you really respect? And if you beat them, you're like, damn it, I had a good day.
Well, there's a lot of people. I can't remember all the names, or some of the names really. Really just watch everybody, and the people that do good, you pay attention and try to figure out what they're doing differently.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Bodie's got that politician answer down pretty good. Them 14-year-olds will tend to do that. There's got to be somebody on your list out there, though.
Yeah, who do you hate, Bodie?
Yeah,
like
is there Rocky Balboa? You got a picture on the mirror. You just want to crumple up their picture. Like, come on, let out some aggression, little man.
I mean, I don't. A couple of guys try to get around, like David Smith, David Blackmore, Mike Nelson.
There you go. There's a list. Yeah, he's got it written down in a black book somewhere. He's keeping track of them. All right.
No, you do this for fun, but it's also competition as well. And you want to go out to the track, and everybody wants to win. So it's all good. It's all good. Robert Lear says motorcycle engines are just a different deal altogether. Okay, I'm starting to learn more and more about that. So,
well, it's
the Pull Town
incredible
Party
to think
that
of them.
says that Bodi is the future PPL or NTPA president. He thinks Bodi, you're going to get into politics. Sounds like that's what Mr. Lundberg's saying there. So, what do you want to like at this point? You're 14 years old. You just had a track meet tonight. Did you say you got first in the 200? Is that what you said?
Yep. In my heat, there's a lot of heats.
Okay. This kid's super humble, Matt. We're trying to mess with him a little bit.
I know. He's just staying right with us. Like, dang it, man, get mad about something.
So.
What was your 200 time then? We're going to get something out of you here. You're going to,
29.30.
He's humble. All right. Yeah, he knows what it is. 29.30.
I might be able to run. I might be able to do a 100-yard dash in 29 seconds, Matt. I might.
You know what? We're going to put that to a test next time we're working together. That could be fun. That could be fun. Listen here, Caleb Peters. This ought to be fun. He asked him about his girlfriend in the bushes. His mom's sitting next to him. He's going to be real humble there, Caleb.
Well, I mean, just friends. Really, we don't talk much. We just see her at the pools.
There you go. There you go.
It's Bodi, Pull Town Party Nut. But Bodi, do you sell T-shirts or hats at all? Do you have any team merch?
We had shirts for a while. We had hats. It's the Renegade Pulling Team.
What was it?
Renegade Pulling Team. That's just what they say on.
Okay.
Do you have a social media page? All these young ladies that are checking you out right now can follow you on, or maybe some of us fans that would like to keep up with you there.
I've got a TikTok. I'm not sure what my username is really.
All right, we'll have to look for you then on the old TikTok. Us two old timers, I got to figure that out yet. They tell me I'm on TikTok a lot. My voice is out there, but I've never been on to see it. So I'm sure my ADHD would love that. So we're looking for the Renegade Pulling Team on TikTok. I'm going to try and find it.
Yep.
See if I can type that fast. Can I get TikTok on my dial-up internet?
Caleb. The Bush girl is old news. I'm just having fun. Bodi, we got a couple minutes left with you, and we're going to switch over to Logan and his dad sitting in the shop back in the green room. What are you like you're like I said, you're 14, you're an 8th grader. What do you think you want to do when you grow up? Like, how do you want to spend the rest of your life? What are your goals and aspirations?
I'm interested in like welding and machine work. Possibly
Nice.
tractors.
That must be your TikTok, Bodi.il24 probably.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. I'm gonna go follow you right now, Bodi, before I forget. So we'll jump on the TikTok here. Bodi, do you and your dad ever go to big outlaw pools out in Missouri, or do you guys go to any big hooks out in your area and watch?
Yeah, we went to one in Fayette, I think it was. It was up north.
Yep. That would have been Western Series PPL, Pro Pulling League, and Silver Series.
I think so.
Yep, that's cool. I know Matt kind of touched on it earlier, but are there any classes in the big classes you like? I mean, I just always assume you love mini rods, but I mean, are there any other classes that you really dig?
You what?
Are there any other classes, like the big classes, like when you go, when you went to Fayette, was it diesel trucks? Was it diesel tractors? Was it mini rods? What did you like? I don't think they have mini rods at Fayette, but
yeah, that's the garden tractors. But 4-1 classes, and then 2-wheel drive something. It's big trucks. I don't pay much attention to classes.
That's right. You just go and have fun.
Yep.
So it's Renegade Pulling Team on TikTok, everybody. So make sure you go follow Bodi and his dad on TikTok. Renegade Pulling. Yep, Rayson Johnson's coming in. We got 2 people. Check it. So Bodi, we got people for the questions you can't answer, Bodi. They're coming through for you. So
yep.
Sounds good. Hey, what's your this is something I always like to ask. What's your first truck and tractor pulling memory?
I remember when me and my dad used to go the little stock tractor out to Ozark, and I'm not sure where it was in Ozark or who it was with. When we first started, all the guys.
Do you remember your first win?
No, not really.
When's the last time you won a pull?
It's been a while. We usually just place like 3rd, and then we haven't had too much luck lately.
Who normally gets you?
A lot of the guys I mentioned earlier.
Okay, good deal. Bodi, anybody you want to thank tonight? Anybody else you want to give a shout out to? Anything like that? You want to make 3 wishes? Neither Matt or I are genies, but we'll try to do our best for you, Bodi.
Well, Tom Michelle, he helps out a lot with us during the pulls, getting tractor started. And then Phil Rauch at Sandcrest, that's where my dad works. He provides us shop and stuff in the winter. And then Jeremy Hogan over at HSC. Caleb Peters, that's the guy who cuts our tires, PPE.
Mike Nelson's cocking off right now, Bodi. Do you want to flip him off or anything cool like that, or give him a finger or anything? So, no. Did you win at Lebanon? Who won at Lebanon that night?
I think we did. We go to so many pulls. It's hard to keep track.
That's all good.
We won Friday, but
I feel your pain. This has to be Tom. I feel your pain. David Smith and Mike Nelson beat me too.
not sure.
Lebanon beat, I think Tom's watching on one of our Facebook groups tonight, Bodi.
No.
He said Lebanon, he beat you by 1/4 inches in the pro stock class.
Yep.
Mike Nelson has 2 smiley faces. Where's Mike from?
Iowa, I think.
Iowa.
So,
Okay. Screw Blake for videos. Not sure what that means.
he gets a lot of our videos for us.
He what?
He gets a lot of our videos for us that I post on TikTok. My dad posts on TikTok.
Okay, so I think he wants.
Thank you, Blake, for getting our videos.
There you go. Favorite food and indoor event. That's a great question.
Any indoor event, yeah.
14-year-old kid, you can eat anything you want. So tell us what's the best that us guys that get heartburn just thinking about it.
I don't know. I usually look for walking tacos.
Walking tacos.
Yeah, if you eat too many of them, you got to run, you see. So be careful.
Mike is from Underwood, Iowa. And then Mike Nelson says, Bodi is becoming quite the competition, actually. Oh, he gave you a little shout out, Bodi. I like that. So, well, good stuff. Well, Bodi, thanks for coming on tonight. Good luck. Good luck at the rest of your track season. I'm sure we'll bump into you this summer. Again, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being the future of pulling. And tell your dad I said hi, okay?
Okay, thanks for having me.
Yeah, impressive
Right,
young man. Thanks for being on here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bodi Lear, everybody. Matt Hart, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Sorry I was a little bit late to the party here. It's been a week
Mike,
of it.
Mike's driving school bus tonight. Larry's driving home from Florida. And I felt like, you know what, Matt, we never give you a chance to talk. So I thought, this is a good chance for you to come in. So we're bringing on Logan Stevens next. Quite an awesome story. I think he's 17. I'll let you get into all that, where he's from. I got to meet him at Lebanon, Missouri, and I'm pretty sure they have a big blown mini now. And I think their Facebook page is Weekland Motorsports. But Chandler's got some videos, so I'm gonna throw those up on the screen. Matt looked like he froze there a little bit. Matt, are you back? Can you hear
I'm
anybody?
back here somewhere. Yep,
Okay, cool.
I'm here.
So I'm gonna play a couple videos, and we're gonna bring Logan and his dad on. Okay. So again, shout out to Chandler for putting this together. It's good having a video guy in your corner. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Chandler's quite the video guy too.
yeah, he is.
Let's see. No,
Robert Lear. Oh, yeah. This is Bodi's dad. Bodi's super humble, great kid. That was fun. There's a bunch of guys we could thank, but we don't want all of our secrets while we're getting our knowledge for us to get out. He's being a KG veteran. Okay, so I'm going to show some Logan videos here. Actually, I'm just going to bring Logan and his dad on. And I'm going to throw some videos. Logan, how are you, buddy? I got 3 videos that Chandler gave me. I'm just going to play one at a time, Logan, and then you tell me a little bit about them, okay?
Awesome.
Here we go. Here's the first one. I think this is from Lebanon, is what this looks like. You from Lebanon.
Up next is Logan Stevens, assistant chancellor from Lewisburg, Kansas. Contact is Tommy on their daughter.
So Logan, tell us about that pass and what class that's in. And who's that guy on your left or on your right as we look at the screen? Your left, my right.
So that's one of my good pulling friends, Larry Houck. He drives 2 motorcycle mini rods and the motorcycle divisions of it all. And then he also has a small block, small tire V8 tractor. And then That was night 1 down at Lebanon.
Okay.
And the setup was all there. Had a little bit of a driving error in there, but that we took that knowledge from that night, and we were able to salvage that pass and walk away with the first place that night.
Good deal.
Good
Good deal.
Whenever you see a competitor get out of the throttle like that, it's almost a no-go for that pass. So we got very lucky with salvaging that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So I guess, Logan, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, for people that don't know who you are. And then what's your Facebook page so I can bring that up?
It should be Wheatland. I forget if it's Wheatland Motorsports, I think is what it's under.
Oh.
But I'm a 16-year-old high school student out here out of Lewisburg, Kansas. And I've been pulling these garden tractors ever since I was 7 years old. And I've progressed my way through the whole ranks of it all. And now I've made it to where we're pulling a Grand National Mini Rod with the Pro Pulling League and select NTPA events hopefully this summer.
I love it. I love it. Who's sitting next to you there on the screen there, Luke?
That's my dad.
What
He's
did your dad
kind
have
of
a name? Can he talk, or did you have to do sign language or anything like
I can
that?
talk, but I figured since it's about youth with pulling, I'll try to let him see how much he learned from me over the years with what we've done. So
He's the main driving force behind this whole thing.
Absolutely. No, my dad's the reason I love pulling, Logan, and it's a disease that my father passed on to me, and your father's passing on to you. It's fantastic. So.
Yeah, welcome to the sickness, right? It sounds like you've gotten bitten by it pretty well if you started so young. And then, of course, looking at the mini rod sitting behind you, that's so exciting. With that, are you still going to continue to pull the garden tractor? That's definitely going to be a primary still, or are you going to kind of shift gears and do the mini rod thing full time?
So the way this is mini rod takes priority over it all, but we're only out on the mini rod circuit maybe 8 to 12 times in a year. So we just kind of use the garden tractors to fill in the downtime with it all. So that was a 5,000 RPM V-twin in that past video. And I've been competing pretty heavily in that class with the 5K V-twins, which it originated from an NQS class that's just kind of been adopted here in the Midwest. And then I also have my fun with a limited pro stock diesel garden tractor that we have down here.
Is this, let me see if this is it, Logan. I'm not sure. Chandler gave me a couple more videos. Let's see what we got here. That's not a diesel, Logan. Sorry about that.
Yeah. They weren't allowing us to pull the diesels indoor down there. So
Okay.
But yeah, something about clearing the smoke out of the air, that'll make a difference for sure. But
yeah,
it sounds like a good running little alcohol burner too.
It is. That is one of our top vehicles that we have on the grounds here. And I take great pride in that tractor with it all. So she's my baby.
She's my baby. What's your earliest pulling memories with your dad, Logan?
It all dates back to my first hook whenever I was 7 years old. We had a little Murray garden tractor, and the pedals were all moved up because I was knee high to a grasshopper. So, and first took out there, we won it, and that's what started us down this path. Dad's been pulling for years. Whenever he was my age back in high school, he had 2 Grand National tractors like the one sitting behind us. But you look at the 2 and they're hardly recognizable from each other with how much technology's changed.
Yeah, we're talking about the age difference there, Dad. What you're talking about having 2 of those. How long have you been pulling, and what got Dad started here? I'm going to ask him the quick question.
It's kind of interesting. I had an older brother that raced motocross, and we raced motocross for a number of years up until I was about 16 years old. And as I progressed through a motorsport like that, I was getting injured more and more as I got faster and faster. So I was laid up in the hospital with knee surgery because of an accident in that sport. And my father brought home a VHS videotape of 8 hours of tractor pulling. And I watched that videotape probably 100 times over 2 week span, with all the pullers back on the TNT Redman series, so forth, so on. So my dad and I, we would always go to local events when we weren't competing with motorcycles, and we would watch pulling. And when I got hurt that one time when I was 16, I told him, I was like, I'm not having fun doing that anymore. So let's go find a sport like this. And then I mowed yards for one summer and bought a blown small block mini rod from a local pullers in our area. And that really kind of hooked me into it all, to the point that it was fun driving at a young age, something that had at that time 1,000 horsepower. And my dad was always very hands-on mechanical, so I had to learn a lot from him, from his hot rod days. And because of that, I went on to do the sport on a small NTPA level with a blowing big block. And then we progressed up to, we have a multi-engine tractor, which a lot of people probably realize, maybe the tractor itself, which is actually Bruce Hutcherson's Make and Bacon Special. We have that here. It's got 3 blowing Rodex on it, and we pull it occasionally. Logan and the kids in our family, I let them always take priority with their hobbies, so we don't get the big tractor out as much. But we had it out this past summer in 2023. The tractor did well. And so my history is kind of an interesting history, and it's enjoyable to watch the youth. I didn't know what to expect when I turned him loose with, we ran a different engine than what we're going to be running this year in the Mini. He did a great job on the PPL Champions Tours last year. I think we ended up 7th, and then we had several top 10s, which we had 0 goals with doing any of the champion tour. And every pass he went down through there, he just kept improving. We'd go back, we'd talk about it. We'd spend hours on the road talking about what we could have done differently. And I look forward to this upcoming summer with what he's going to be doing with that. And I actually kind of enjoy starting the motor and sitting back and watching him do stuff. As you can tell, he's got a little brother that's sitting on the seat that helps us out a lot. Lyndon, stick your head out on the side.
He's been poking around a little bit.
So,
Yeah, we've seen the star of the show back there. Yeah.
So he's awesome because he if we need to run valves, he's in there taking headers off, doing whatever. So it's great to spend time with kids that have kind of a passion to what they do, and just kind of tie into like the whole motorsports deal. I've always been a person that, we can engineer and develop product. And if we go out and compete and I see something that is not doing quite right, it could be engine related. Well, I went on to get an engineering degree when I was, coming out of high school, and worked out in industry. But now it's progressed to a shop that's back behind the house, and that's kind of what we do for a living nowadays. We have basically a full-blown machine shop that we have engineered products for supercharged applications to chassis stuff, to a lot of different sectors of industry. So,
are you working with other pullers as well, guys, or is it race cars, or what are you doing?
Well,
many different sides of motorsports. So we'll work with different pro mod chassis builders, different pro mod teams, different engine manufacturers like Sassy Racing Engines, and different fuel system companies. So we work with a large number of guys all across the board.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's what's kind of neat about a sport that you can't run down to Napa or O'Reilly's to go get parts. So you have to figure it out. And that's one thing, like Logan's growed up into that manufacturing environment. And that's what's fun, because I've always been a person that, yeah, you can go and buy 8 items from RCD Engineering, or you can sit back and engineer it yourself. And then you have all the knowledge base and testing grounds. And that's what's enjoyable for the sport for me, with what I've done over my career. And like I say, hopefully it continues with where he's gone. Again, like I say, it's fun. At the end of the day, we're lucky that we can be able to do a sport like this on any level, and that's what especially again with the PPL people, it's very enjoyable. All the competitors are so talented with what they're doing. And it's neat to throw Logan into the mix of all these guys that's got all this experience, and then watching progress. We know we're not going to go out and win everything, but if we can get up in there and play with them a little bit, that's a very successful outing for us when we go out.
Logan, never trust Tyler Slaw, okay? Just throw that out there.
Yeah, friend of the podcast, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Those no practice guys, you can't trust them guys. So
that's right.
Tyler's a good dude. Logan pulled us out of a bind, got us some parts shipped overnight so we could make it to the pole after he broke the rear end and half cocked. Robert Lear, Bodi's dad, talking earlier. And obviously, Logan, I got to talk to you at Lebanon a little bit, and that was great. Somebody's watching on Facebook, says, good to see you too. I think that's Tom Michelle. I think it is. Whoever's watching one of the Facebook groups, their name doesn't come through with the StreamYard software that I use. So I'm not sure why that does that. Watch out for Jeff Hurt too. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's the guy you have to watch out for there.
Yeah, he just swept down in North Carolina or in Florida again this weekend. So we have him at the Pullers Championship on May 17th and 18th, and he's a defending champion down there too, Logan. So it's all good. This looks like Henry, Illinois. Was this last year, Logan?
Yes. That was in Henry,
picture's on the top of your Facebook page. Looks like you're looking at the left line a little bit there, Logan.
Yeah, we were having at the beginning of the season last year with us. There's so much physics that go into these chassis. So even going from the motor that we got this chassis from Brett Berg, he's helped us out tremendously with this. But when Brett pulled his motor out and we put ours in, we knew we were going to be down on a little bit of power. So Brett had some spacers in this tractor whenever he had the bigger motor in it that would make this tractor go straight. So whenever we put the smaller powered motor in it, the flex wasn't as great as with a higher torque motor. So we were having some issues with the tractor pulling to the left side. So I was watching that chalk line pretty hard.
Yeah, you can definitely see that.
Yeah, the mini rods that night were all kind of doing that. It was there's always 20, 25 of you there at Henry, and it was a big show. So that track gets pretty beat up.
Yeah, Matt, you were on the mic there, buddy. Matt, you were on the mic, Matt.
Yep, got to see it. I'm like, I know that background. It's that's just down the street from me here. So
Henry's a pretty special place. My tractor's been there a couple of times. It's pretty neat.
Fun show. Those guys have been working really hard to get that track back in shape and really bring that back. And I think it shows, again, what do we have? 25 hooks in that mini rod class last year. And you guys, like Dad, you mentioned top 10. That doesn't sound like much, but when you're up against 30 machines, that's damn good.
Dave Knapp does a good job with that pole over there.
Yep.
And
I'll tell him you said so. He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, we get a lot of wheel sets from him too.
Sure. So, yeah. Mr. Kaiser himself, right?
Mr. Kaiser himself.
That's right.
This motor that's behind us, this is the motor that was originally in the tractor. So we're reverting back to our old settings and hopefully going to have a good run at it this summer.
So that's a great picture there. Yeah.
who did you buy? Did you guys buy this tractor from somebody over the winter, Logan? You and your dad?
So last winter, it really started last 2 falls ago, is when Dad went to me and said, okay, you're now 16. What do you want to do? And I was like, well, why don't we go pull mini rods? So
You should have said, Dad, let's go buy Shelton's Unlimited. I was throwing that out there for ideas, Logan. So
yeah,
but those are in California now, both of them. So
yeah, Boyd's chassis setup was a little over the budget for it. So we found Brett Berg, and he's helped us out tremendously with it all.
Great guy.
This was the chassis that pulled at the truck show 2 years ago. I think it was the first year that the truck show was there.
Yep.
And this was the setup as it was. And the first year we just bought the roller for him because we didn't quite have the funds for the motor program, and ran it how you saw it last year. And then now we've finally came around to the point to where we can upgrade our motor program and hopefully be one of those top 5 tractors in and out every weekend.
So as you see the screen, Logan, that's how the tractor sits behind you now.
Yes, sir.
Is that an SSI hat, or which one's, or is that who looks
That's
like
a Janus hat? It's a Janus hat, Janus supercharger.
Yep.
And then
I'm a diesel guy, Logan. Sorry. It takes me a little bit longer. I'm a diesel guy, Logan, on that. So
yeah. All Sassy Racing engines parts on it.
Nice.
Spark plugs save lives. Yep. That's good stuff. Now I want to ask a question because we were talking about youth. Love the mini rod stuff, but I see the little man poking his head back behind that motor again. Now that Logan's kind of stepped up to this mini rod approach, is it the next generation, the younger brother, stepping on the garden tractor now? Is that what's coming up next, or what's the plan there?
He's been doing garden tractors since he was 6 years old, and he's now 10. And he was down there at Lebanon too. I don't know if you guys had any hooks of that, but he has 2 sharp-looking John Deeres that he
does
totes around the whole Midwest.
Chandler, he didn't upload any videos of that, but I know we have those, Logan, and I know we've posted them before. So,
and then
take them out of the archives. How fun!
He's also set foot. He decided, well, maybe we go try sprint car racing. So he started to venture into that too with a junior sprint car.
That's fun. He's taking after Dad then a little bit, wanting to get hurt some, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sport is, I have zero experience with that type of sport, so it is like learning how to ice skate, So we've been out already 4 times this
spring with the car.
4 weekends we've been out with that sprint car, and he's done well. He's one of those kids that applies himself, and but on the other hand, my standpoint, I think I've spent money 2 or 3 times already after each event on putting the car back together. So it's when I say it's one of those racing deals, that's what I mean, I guess. So it's one of those.
I get it. Hey, your Kim wants a shout out, Logan. If you, your aunt Kim, sorry.
Yeah,
she helps with a lot of approving the decal setups. She's the artsy fartsy.
Yeah, she's my older sister, but I've learned we get to see each other on a weekly basis. She actually comes down here in the shop in the evening hours and actually makes parts, runs the CNCs when they're set up. She's a tremendous help, just being able to do what we do. So
no, that's what makes it fun about the podcast like this, guys. You have your family watching, your friends and stuff like that. So it's fun to do this. It's fun to do this, Logan. And I just thought you were very, very mature for your age when I talked to you at Lebanon, and Chandler likes you, so then we got to have you on the podcast. That's how it works. So it's all good. So
awesome.
All good. So last year was your full year on the PPL series, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you get a pull in McLeod back there behind you at the Kansas Summer, Bill Petrie's pull?
Yes, we actually took 2 of our vehicles up there. Dad piloted the triple engine mod and drove it 2 back-to-back wins after being over a decade in hibernation, since he kind of put it back in the back in the back wings while we were working on our garden tractor stuff.
Is this still called the Make and Bacon Special?
No,
It's called the Wheatland Express.
Wheatland
Wheatland
Express. Yeah.
And Dad got that tractor probably 20 years ago, and he worked with it. And then the kids came around and kind of got parked, and finally rolled it in the week before McLeod put 3 new superchargers on it and got it all ready to go for McLeod.
So this picture's at the top of your Facebook page. Is this the tractor we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like a kind of a world famous tractor then.
Yeah, that's actually the very last revision, which was the Carhartt, when
Yep.
it was sponsored by Carhartt. Tim Engler built the chassis, and Mike Sage, Craig Sage dad, built the
That'd be S gearbox, guys. Sage,
Yeah.
right? Yep.
Yeah, they built, a lot of the rear end stuff that's on the tractor still today. And back when Bruce was alive, I'd visit with him on a regular basis, and tremendous puller, and we had that tractor out here. I bought it from Carl Bilski, and Bilski bought it direct from Bruce back in the day when it changed through hands. But I've owned the tractor for all these years since I bought it from Carl. And every year I would do something additional, and then we'd take it out the following summer and run it and campaign it. It's just on a limited schedule. And we finally had it dialed in. Actually, talk about Tyler. That's Bruce's crossbox that I retrofitted the tractor with a number of years ago.
Nice.
And primarily the tractor chassis, rear ends, all the original. I still have all the original front triangle gas tank on it for it. And a lot of the original components I still have here at the shop. But I broke it apart, meaning 2 motors side by side, top stair step. And the tractor's actually still capable of running a 4th and a 5th motor. We have the Chevrolets to do it, but really the Hemi guys, the technology progressed so great. Like you talk about Shelton's with their mods. Really 5 Chevrolets against 4 Hemis is still pretty tough go about it. So the tractor, if you could say, it's kind of retired, and we just kind of keep it around, Kansas, Missouri, and bring it out and pull whenever we have time to be able to do the maintenance on it and so forth, so on. But
what associations allow that class, like MSTPA, or where can you run it at?
We can run the MSTPA 7,400 pound modified class. We can run the Outlaw 3 Chevrolet 2 Hemi rule.
That'd be similar to like Ulmer's tractor, right? Sweet paint.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. And then also too, we can run it with the what was it? The PPL Silver Series or
PPL has Western series.
And
a
that
regional modified class is what they call it.
And that was
Okay.
the class that we ran at McLeod. They had a 2-night show there. I went to McLeod. It'd probably been 8-9 years previous to that with the tractor, and I went there and watched in 2022, and I was amazed at the facility and what they put in. And that pulls about 60 miles from us. And
Okay.
So I told Logan the Briggs and Stratton and the mini rod was running pretty decent at that point last summer. I said, let's get the big tractor in the shop and do some work on it. And we were up to probably 2 o'clock on average every night. And it was the Thursday night.
The night before at midnight.
We had it rolled out in front of the shop, timing the motors at midnight.
Our neighbors absolutely love us.
We're kind of out in the country a little bit, but I'm sure it still probably made some noise. And loaded it up and went up there the following day, and kind of not knowing what to expect. Had my old notes that from previous years, and had the weight balance just right, and had a really nice pass. And then we have a 2-wheel drive pulling truck that came out of Texas that I think it won 2001
outlaw points.
And so I figured there's no better chance. Logan's been running the mini all summer. Let's throw him in there and see what he does on that. And so it was kind of neat. He got to experience different cockpits of the mini versus two-wheel drive heavier weight class. And so it's all, the physics is all the same. The knowledge base is all the same, but it's neat to be able to experience some different classes. And again, like I say, we had a good time with what we did. That's what makes pulling fun, be able to go out and visit with people and be able to participate in a lot of these classes.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, try to be as competitive as you can.
The two vehicles pilot completely different from no two vehicles are going to drive the same, but the ride on a mini rod is something undescribable. Time truly slows down when you're going over 30 mile an hour down the track, and it's really a feeling like nothing else.
Yeah, we're watching these videos here. I'm kind of getting encapsulated in that when you're talking about it. We've got looks like a helmet camera or something there. Here we go.
That's Henry.
Yep, that's Henry. He's pulling to the right a little bit.
You guys go check out Wheatland Motorsports on Facebook. This is a video from his page. I'm just sharing with all of you right now. So
this was the night before Henry this pass, and we were still having
that's Jerseyville.
Jerseyville. Yep.
It looks like Jerseyville.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
That was actually, we were
City,
gracious enough with the team at Pro Pulling League. Since we were struggling a little bit, they let us have a test hookup at Mound City, Missouri.
Nice.
Oh, real nice.
That's Hillsboro, Wisconsin, about 30 miles north of my house.
We laid down. That's the best the tractor ran all season, and we laid down two pretty decent passes there.
Good deal.
Very cool.
It goes back to garden tractor pulling with kids. He learned all of this type of stuff doing garden tractor pulling, and we still garden tractor pull just because it keeps the skill set sharp. And of course, it's not as expensive with dealing with it, but it keeps your mind flowing with what could I done differently? How'd the pass feel? Did the tractor need more gear? And that's what's fun about the sport. Again, we talk about the people side, then you talk about the mechanic side of it. And that's what's fun about any of the classes that are out there competing.
And I'm a firm believer of just getting to sit back in the pits and talk with other drivers is more fun and more knowledge than you could ever have of just seeing just being a big family with everyone. It's a group like nothing else.
Who are some of the pullers that you really always try to, once you're all set, you kind of run over to their trailer, or who do you really look forward to seeing at the events that you've been going to, Logan?
Yeah, Brett Berg is like another dad to me. He's done so much for us and been a really big role model with the whole program. He's helped us whenever the tractor's not been doing quite what we wanted. And that, along with Chad Mayhill's helped us out with some tire stuff over this summertime. And then Jeff Hurt is one good fish fry cook, that's for sure.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. It's interesting you talk about pulling, because you were talking about sprint cars, mini sprint cars and racing and everything else and the different camaraderie. And, I'm kind of new to the pulling thing myself. I mean, I've been going to shows my whole life, but to be involved with it like this has been, a 5-6 year thing. And you see a lot of, there's rivalries, but there's never, anything that someone isn't going to help someone else,
Yeah.
And, when it's all said and done, we're all trying to put on a good show. And I think everybody realizes that and helps each other get there, you know, especially with the group you're running with, you know, from garden tractors. What I like about that is, you know, like yourself, that's where you got started. A lot of young people. And I think there's veterans of the sport like yourselves that are bringing in, you know, those younger kids even. You know, we talked to Bodi and yourself that started before you were 10 years old. You know, how exciting is that to be a part of too?
Yeah, it's very exciting with it all. And these guys, they want to beat you just as much as the next person, but they'll do anything to beat you fair and square. So if they have to pull a part off their tractor to make yours run, then they'll do that for you.
Yeah, it's huge, you know, and that just says a lot about it. Saw someone ask a question earlier. I'm trying to throw it up here. Looks like they were asking, and for both of you actually, and maybe even the little guy in the back, where do you see the sport in 5 years?
I honestly see the sport going in the same direction it is. We're getting great airtime with different networks through TV coverage, and then the sport's just growing as a whole. So getting the sport in more people's hands is just going to make everything go bigger and better than the year before.
Yeah, and Dad, what kind of changes do you see? I mean, you've been through it for a longer time. You know, I mean, do you see the positives and some of the changes?
Yeah, it's always amazing to me to watch all these classes. You can pick any class, and the technology that was 10 years ago versus where it is right now. So time never slows down with the progression of how hard these vehicles are pulling down the track. So 10 years for me, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what's the latest and greatest, you know, maybe supercharger, what's everyone doing far as ignition, you know, how much more horsepower that people are getting to be able to put to the ground. It's interesting to me to see what the next 10 years is going to hold far as that goes.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, you know, with the internet too, getting involved, like Logan said, you know, how much more involved we can be. You know, we don't need an ESPN 10 or something to cover it, where we're able to put it out to the masses on social media or even on websites. You know, these live stream services have really made a difference. You know, like you mentioned, you know, I think 15 years ago, we weren't sitting and watching this on our cell phones, of course, you know, and to be able to see a poll in Chapel Hill, and be sitting in Northern Illinois, you know, is pretty amazing. You know, and so again, more awareness, more money, and like you said, more technology. I love to see the differences. You know, Dad, you mentioned that where, you know, you learn from others, just watch and see. You know, it's you don't lose if you learn, right? And we're always learning when we're out there. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
This is from Hillsboro, it looks like, Logan, from last year. It's on your Facebook page. So.
Correct. I think that was someone out of the Mike Evans and the It's No Joke pulling team.
Yeah, I think that's his wife that does all these. So, Carrie.
See Jonathan Mears
get
there.
Get that gator out of the way.
That's right.
Yeah, it feels like forever, even though it's 5 seconds waiting for that flag to change to green.
You know, everybody's waiting on you and stuff like that. So,
but yeah, this is when time just slows down. The tractor settles in, and you just become one with it. You feel every little bump, hiccup, and everything else with that tractor.
Yep. No,
so here's a question for you, Logan. Again, young guy yourself, you got younger brother sitting behind you, getting into it. If you're out there and, you know, a mature 16, 17-year-old young man or woman wants to come up and ask, how do I get into this? Or what's the steps? Or, you know, what's your advice to the younger ones behind you that you'd like to, you know, bestow upon them?
Well, just go out and get started. Get your dad's old Cub Cadet, pull the mower deck off of it, and just take it to a local pull. And then talk with as many guys as you can and learn as much as you can. That's how I've learned all my stuff, is just talking, knowing people, and not being afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, great advice. You know, it's out there for you, right? They've been there before. and they want to be there again. And you know, like your dad and yourself, you find joy in watching those newbies, right? Get a hang of it, get a hook of it, and start to improve, right? So that's all part of the fun.
Hey,
All
Logan,
part
bring
of-
your little brother up, if you don't mind. I want to talk to him real quick.
Yeah, he's been waiting. He's waiting his turn. Here he comes.
No, this little kid's cool. I watched him at Lebanon, so get in the middle there, bud.
Hey, come over here.
He's gonna have to jump on the weight box or something. There you go.
All right.
Here,
Thanks for doing this tonight, Logan. Appreciate it. So, hey, so tell us your name. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Lyndon.
How old are you?
I'm 10.
What's your last name?
I don't know.
You don't know your last name?
The man
Oh,
writing the checks for your rides sitting beside you. I'd get it.
that sponsorship's growing a little bit shorter, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Might have to find a new shed to hang out in, huh?
All right. Tell us one thing that you love about your brother, Logan. What's one thing you love about him?
He doesn't give up really. If
That's awesome.
if the tractor messes up, he's there in the shop the next day, working on it, fixing it up, getting it ready for the next pull.
Cool. What is one thing your dad has taught you?
Don't look at me.
Probably the same thing.
Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help you throughout your entire life. So
That's true, man. Just keep rolling. What are you looking forward to this summer? What's your first pull you're going to attend, and which one are you pulling at first?
He probably doesn't know this, but actually there's a memorial pull that's coming up. A fellow puller down here in Missouri that we're going to go down, and he doesn't know this, but it's first part of May.
May
first,
the 4th.
First Saturday in May.
Star Wars Day, May the 4th.
So I got to brush Lyndon's skills up a little bit. So it's hard to believe that these guys, when they were little bitty, I'd take them out back and we'd hook up the grasshopper lawnmower. And then, so we'd do some test hits before we'd go out and actually start pulling so they could experience what's going to take place before we get hooked to the sled. So I may have to take Lyndon back out there and do some retraining on some stuff. So, but no, he'll do good. He'll be right back in.
I love it. Well, the Stevens family, thank you so much. Logan's dad, thank you for being awesome and raising fine young men. And thank you for continuing the great tradition of truck and tractor pulling. So we wish you guys good luck, and we'll see you out at the track this summer.
Yep.
Awesome.
We'll see you guys somewhere. So
Thank you,
All right,
gentlemen.
talk soon.
Great interview. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Logan. See you, bud.
See ya.
Oh, what a great family, huh?
Ooh,
My
I gotta
goodness.
get rid of my big head there, Matt.
There you are. Everybody, it's Jason Schultz.
I don't want to go super late tonight because we can actually have an early night for once without Mike here talking all the time. So I always feel like it's funny because Larry and Mike always pick on me when I'm driving around, but I'm actually flying to Georgia. I got home from California at 10:30 last night. Cal Poly experience was great. They got rained out, but I got to spend all afternoon with the Cal Poly kids and their families. And it was a great time. A lot of colleges, Matt, have like garden tractor or quarter scale programs, but the Cal Poly kids have a V12 Allison, and now they have a Poly Thunder. It's got 2 Chevys in it, and Brant Sullivan just freshened them up. So neat to see them, and that's kind of their big fundraiser. But it rained a couple inches, and everybody says, "Oh, cover the track," but people forget about the pits and everything else to get all these rigs and stuff in there, and that.
Yeah,
so,
that's worse yet. Trying to get people in
I'm
and
heading
out
out
of
to
there.
Georgia tomorrow. I have a mortgage branch in Savannah, Georgia. I'm gonna go out and spend a couple days with Danny and Mike. So, but what a fun show, to talk to Bodi and then to see the difference between 2 years, between a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Just the confidence and talking and stuff like that. That was fun to see. So
yeah, Bodi being an 8th grader and jumping on here is pretty impressive. I started thinking about that when I was talking to him. I'm like, well, his answers are kind of short. And I'm like, at 8th grade, I wasn't coming on here. So that was impressive. And his mom was supporting him, his little sister and his dad being on there, and then seeing, of course, the Stevens and the little guy in the back, that's just fun. And hearing how proud their dad is, to talk about them and how they got started. It brings back a lot of memories. And that was pretty special.
Say, keep their skills sharp. I'm telling you, driving a garden tractor is tougher than anything because it's not just brakes. They're leaning, and that teaches you right away which way you've got to lean, without tapping a brake. And I think that's huge on that. And those things are so low to the ground and they get moving. And obviously, Logan had a great, year out with the PPL last year, in a big mini, a big blown mini. It's pretty neat to see all that, competing against Slaws and Hertz and, Berg and all them. Those are some huge names in pulling. I mean, some of the best. And he's out there hanging with them. That's pretty cool. And then he didn't have his little brother come on and say, Logan never gives up. That's pretty cool because you don't realize who's watching you. You know what I mean, Matt? So,
well, that's it. Anytime you're doing something, it's those little moments, we all think the big wins and anything, when we ask a 10-year-old, what did you learn? And it wasn't, that he won 4 times. It was, that he doesn't give up when he doesn't win. And that kind of caught me a little bit. It was like, what a neat moment. You could tell it's just a great family and, both of them that we've had on tonight. So that's really what it comes down to, and hearing them talk about the fact that they're there helping each other out and encouraging those to get into it, because we wouldn't be Let's Grow Pulling if we couldn't continue to get new pullers and people that are interested to do it. So, if people weren't nice enough to help me even talk about the sport, I wouldn't be here. So guys like yourself that are like, come on and talk, even if it's past your bedtime, I appreciate it. We're both traveling a lot.
I got up last Friday at 2 a.m. to go to California. So I actually thought of you because I know how early you get up to go do your auction stuff.
It is early. It is early. But, I always say, people are like, how are you in this good of a mood this early? I said, nobody screwed up my day yet. So don't start, But sounds like it's time to feed the dog too. So,
well, my wife just got home from the soccer game. So nice. I want to give next week, we got Nathan Vague coming on at 8 and then Sydney Summers. We're going to kind of go into Pullers Championship promotion mode now. As you know, promoters hire us to promote their events on social media. Clint Medding as well. The Nordheim May Feast Texas Truck and Tractor Pulling is May 17th and 18th. And then we're also doing Hub City, Wisconsin, Matt, a little town just literally between Hillsboro and Richland Center here where I live. They're having their drag races, and we're promoting that as well, Saturday, May 11th. So a lot of stuff going on, but really I'm just going into full Pullers Championship promo mode. And, the next 3 or 4 Let's Grow Pullings are going to be very focused on, pullers that are competing at the Pullers Championships. And again, that is our outdoor Louisville, our dream of that. Turn that into hopefully someday. I think it will be the largest payout in pulling because, we raise sponsorship money to cover our fixed costs, and every dollar from the live stream and the gate goes into the puller's purse. So, the goal is to turn the puller into a promoter, by having them work their social media hard, encouraging everybody to come to the pull or buy the live stream. And the live stream can be found at thepullerschampionship.com. You click on the live stream button. It's really that simple, Matt.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. So many people talk about the growth of that. And as you mentioned, let the puller be the promoter and pay him for it, darn it, because it's an expensive sport and might as well make it worth the kitty, right? And it's a good idea to do it. I wish I could be there. I might be able to, and I think I have a place to stay pretty close to home with some friends that are actually pulling at that event. So that could be cool. Really, really fun. So fingers crossed. I love that I work and I get paid, but that might be kind of fun to make the trip down and hang out with y'all. So
yeah, we'll have Dan Mayer is going to be our lead mic guy on the Mike Idle, who's going to be our second announcer. He doesn't know that yet. And then Chris Clark and Chris going to do like a lot of crowd interaction stuff, interview the pullers. I got to talk to Chris and Mike and see who wants to do the puller interviews below. But Dan Mayer is going to run point on the weekend. Obviously, hear him at Grand National NTPA Pro Pulling League Champion Tour events. Just does an amazing job on the mic. We're excited to have him at the Pullers Championship on the mic. And it'll be the debut of my new diesel super stock. My dad's going to be piloting it for me. Doug Meisinger's working on it. The tractor is in Kansas right now. Obviously, I bought the high-tech Redneck. It's a diesel super stock. Then we had it wrapped into the Remedy. And we displayed it in Louisville at our merchandise booth. So we're excited about that. But Dad will be behind the wheel there Friday and Saturday night in Nashville, Illinois. So that'll be my first time to see it go. Well, I guess we kind of made a test hit up in Michigan at the end of September, but he didn't get on it, if you know what I'm saying, Matt. Like I think he needed to get that first one out of the way. So.
Sure. Yeah, we all do. I always say the first time at anything is the worst time, right?
When are the
there's a
Richland
lot.
Center Garden Tractor Nationals? Okay, so I'm gonna do this, just not this year. I was gonna try to do it. Travis Schaub and I were talking about doing it the 4th of July this year, but we just have so much going on with Outlaw Pulling TV and now Full Pull Live that I just really need to put all my effort into those two ventures this summer to make those the two best live streams out there in pulling. Oh, that's my goal, and it will happen. And that's why Dad's driving my new tractor. And I want it, but I definitely, for people, you don't know this, Matt, but I used to promote 3 pulling events a year here in Richland Center with demo derbies and snowmobile grass drags and ATV drags and mud bogs. And we had it all. But the fairgrounds is 4 miles from my house. The Knights of Columbus, we put a bunch of money into those fairgrounds. And then we got rained out 5 years in a row of our big summer event. And then COVID happened and we were just kind of burnt out. And I think I could talk everybody back into maybe doing one event a year. I'd love to do a gigantic garden tractor pull during the day and then have a big pull at night or something like that. So I'll get something figured out when I got a little more time. So
yeah, we always pray for that extra time. Those 24 hours in a day are tough.
No, I'm not. I need to time block better. For those of you that are busy, write down a time block. Like 8 to 10, I'm going to do this. 10 to 11, try to stay away from your text messages, your Facebook Messenger, and your emails because those things will destroy your day and social media. And social media.
But stay on it, please, because that's what we're trying to do here. Right? Yeah. It's the fun balance of life, folks. Block it out, have some fun, get your work done, and make your days count while you have them. So,
but shout out to Bodi Lear, great young man, 8th grader, and then Logan Stevens and his dad, and I think his brother's name was Lyndon, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But talk about a motorsports family. That's just super cool. That is super cool.
Yeah, that is.
No, Robert, we will. If we do it, it'll be 2 hooks. Absolutely. Absolutely.
When the wheels are turning.
It's not happening this year. So
the wheels are turning. That's right. Well, good deal. Well, thanks so much again for having me on, Jason. I'm glad to be back.
I love your voice.
Well, I'm glad somebody does. Yeah. People that are back home are like, tell them to shut up. But, on here, I do my best to let the others do the speaking because they've got a lot more knowledge and I'm just here for entertainment value. But no, it's a lot of fun. My dentist is going to put a new roof on his house with the work he did to me today. So I'm kind of smiling through that. They're pretty good at making money too. I think a dentist could own a pulling tractor, but
well, they're smarter than that. They get boats and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the ceiling tiles are clean. I stared at them for a couple hours today, but yeah, we're limping through. So I'm going to sign off because it is bedtime for this guy, as you know, and we hope that everybody tunes in.
Yeah. Again, next Monday, we got Nathan Veg first, then Sydney Summers. So again,
Jumpin' Jack Flash, right?
Yeah, it's going to be great. So Nathan's in the Super Stock Diesel Jumpin' Jack Flash. His father, Ference Veg. They're from Louisville, basically. Nathan works for Tesla now. He graduated from Louisville University of Kentucky. He's a Wildcat because I saw all his Facebook posts when they got rid of Calipari, and that was funny. And then Sydney Summers has the 4.1 limited pro stock colorblind out of Buckner, Missouri, but better known as Kansas City, Missouri. And she got second last year on Friday night down there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to play some of those videos again that Chandler made to kind of wrap up the show. Thank you for watching tonight. Got a lot of ideas from people that you want to see on the show. We're really going to go into promoter mode now through basically into September. Monday nights we're going to have promoters on talking about their events. That's what we do for the pulling community. And if you're a promoter or a fair board or an association and you want help with your social media, I know a guy. I got a great team and they're good at what they do. So Matthew, thank you. Thank you to the Lear family. Thank you to the Stevens family. I'm going to play some videos. Matt, you can sign off. I'm going to play some videos and everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Great night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
See you, Hart.
Take her key.
Oops, wrong button.
We're trying still.
I pushed the wrong button.